One of the questions that you can get on programming interview is the difference between inheritance and composition. And I hear this question again and again in lots of interviews, and really often people can't understand the difference. This is why by the end of this video you will fully understand the benefits of each of them and what is most popular in the front-end world. The first question here is, what is inheritance at all? And if you ever learned classes in any language, you typically have an example like this. We have a class animal, we're getting some name inside, and our animal has functions like eat or sleep. Then we can extend this class and create a class dog, which is based on the class animal, and we're adding a new function bark inside. The main point is that dog gets eat and sleep methods from animal, and also all variables which were defined in animal. This is exactly the inheritance, and this is how classes are working in all programming languages, and in our case in JavaScript. The next question is, what is composition? And actually you can describe composition like building a Lego blocks together. So your whole application is composed from different pieces. And by composing them together, you are getting more and more functionality. And this is exactly what we're doing in my middle to senior front-end bootcamp. We focus on architecture, design patterns, and co-understanding of languages and framework. This example is from React, but it illustrates how you can use composition really good. Let's start from the bottom. We have a button component in React. This is just some dumb component because it gets properties, but it doesn't contain any business logic. We simply have a button here, and it is either disabled or enabled with some text rendered inside and lowered in state. Additionally, here, as you can see, we're creating a tracked loading button. And what we're doing here, first of all, we're wrapping our button with loading and then with click loading, which essentially means we're enhancing our component with additional functionality. Let's have a look what with loading does. It takes our component and creates a state for it with isLoading and setIsLoading. So it passes inside our component this state without any need to handle this state inside. And with click tracking is working in exactly the same way. We're passing inside a component and we're adding handle click event. This is the example of composition. And inheritance was really popular in front-end world, mostly because we have classes in JavaScript which are actually based on the prototypes, and typically people were coming with the background of Java, for example, where classes and inheritance are bread and butter. So if you used React before, you probably saw a lot of inheritance code like this. We're creating a class like, for example, base model, which extends from React component, and our base model has a state like isOpen and functions open and close. And then we're rendering some markup. Then later we need to create a confirm model. So we're creating a new class which is based on our base model, and what we're doing is we're adding handle confirm method that did not exist there, and we override completely render function because we want different markup. And it all works fine until this certain point. Let's say PM is coming to us and say, okay, I want a new feature. Can we prevent closing models when clicking the backdrop for important confirmations? How can we implement it in this case? So we have our base model and we're just adding a new prop for our class. It is if prop prevent background close, then we're just returning and we're not triggering close. But now we have a problem because the children of this base model don't know anything about this new prop. This can lead to the bugs that some models will be closed, other models won't be closed, and it will be inconsistent. Now let's check how we can rewrite exactly the same code with composition. Let's look first of all on our model. Again, our model is just a dump component which is rendering something and is getting isOpen and callbacks inside. Additionally, we're passing prevent backdrop close inside. And additional to that, we're creating confirm model, which uses inside model component with this prevent backdrop close functionality, and it has its own handle confirm. Additionally to that, we created use model, which is just a hook, and inside we're passing our property prevent backdrop close, and we're handling our state inside. which gives us several properties which we use to render our model. As you can see, when we are using composition, we don't override any methods like we do with inheritance, and it is enough in this case to just add a single liner to our model without need to update all our other models. And this is exactly why React basically killed inheritance and migrated from classes to the hooks. And there are several reasons why. First of all, it is difficult to understand on what logic child relies from our parent. Secondly, we had lifecycle methods and you can override them, and it was really messy. Third point is in JavaScript you can't extend from several classes. And the last one is that minifiers can't optimize that code well. This is why from the code which is based on inheritance and classes, we came in React to hooks and functional programming. Now when we have shareable business logic, we're typically writing a custom hook where we store some variables, we do their side effects, and expose the information that we need. And as you can see in this example, we're using 3 different data sources. With class inheritance it is not possible because we can extend just from a single class. Let's have a look on some good examples of composition that we're using every single day. The typical example is when we want to share some logic between components. For example, in this case we have useForm validation where we store values of our form. And we're exposing some properties which can help us to work with the form. After this, we're creating a login form and we're using useForm validation hook. It has its internal state and it allows us to work with the form in a simple way. Then we can reuse exactly the same logic in another component. We're getting completely different state when we initialize our useForm validation, and it keeps our code simple. Just imagine how you would do it with inheritance. We would create some base class and then for sure override some methods because you want different behavior in different places. Second pattern, which is really popular in React, and sometimes your code can be much easier with it, is high-order components. As you can see here, we have a stateless component user list, which simply renders an array of users that we provide inside. What we're doing here is in high-order component with loading state, we're passing our user list, which adds a loading state to it. You already saw this example at the beginning. Then inside our application, we can use a hook to fetch data from the API, and when we're getting this data, we're passing it in this user list with loading. Which is again a composition, because you have your stateless component user list, then you have high-order component with loading state, and then you are using a hook useFetchData to fetch some data from the API. You can also see this pattern really often with authentication. Like for example here we have high-order component with auth, which is checking roles of the user, and depending on that we're either getting component back or we're being navigated to login page. And it allows us in an easy way to just wrap all our components and provide a role inside, and it will do its magic. And the last great example of composition is render props, again in React. Let's have a look here on the user profile. As you can see, we're returning a data fetcher component where we're providing a URL, but inside, instead of just some markup, we have a function, and we're getting arguments like data loading error, and then we're returning our own markup. This is exactly the render props idea. So we're rendering something and we're getting arguments. And basically these arguments are coming from data fetcher. So let's have a look on it. Data fetch is just a function which gets a URL and children. We have some state or whatever we need inside, like useEffect for example, and then back we're returning children with all these fields that we want to pass back. This is a really strong functionality where you can get some parameters from some shared function and also work with children. In this case, the consumer decides exactly how he wants to use all the states that we're getting from it. And in the case with inheritance, the parent will dictate that. And in case if you're wondering when you need to use custom hooks, high-order components and render props, in 90% of the cases you should use just custom hooks. High-order components are really nice when you're wrapping something that you don't control, for example third-party libraries, and render props when your consumer needs maximum flexibility in rendering. And the question that you for sure have is inheritance is bad, we saw it on the examples, composition is better. But this is not entirely true. Obviously, a lot of stuff that we're building on client side is composition and functions. But there are a lot of cases where you can use classes and they're totally fine. For example, when you're implementing your validation errors, it makes a lot of sense to use a class here, because you want to extend some native JavaScript functionality and just add new specific properties. In this case, we're not overriding any methods, and inheritance really fits here. And if you're serious about becoming a senior developer but you need some help, I have a full middle to senior frontend bootcamp where we start with passing interview, checking all your knowledge, understanding architecture, algorithms, writing tests, creating real projects, and much more. And you can find the link to it under the video.